everybody, and welcome to the Upkeep for Monday, December 30th, 2019.
That's right. It's all the magic news you need in 10 minutes or less.
And on this episode, we're doing something special because over the holidays, you know what? Not a lot of news happened.
That's right. So instead, we're recapping some of the top news stories from this year in Magic.
I know it's almost 2020, but we're going to go back in time throughout the year. Biggest stories, like you said. What have you chosen?
All right. So starting off, can't believe this was only this year.
Weird.
The London Mulligan.
Unbelievable that was this year.
I know, it feels like one lifetime ago.
It really does. And it's made an enormous impact on Magic.
Yes, it has been the source of contention amongst pro players and casual players alike, arguing whether it is too powerful or whether it has improved the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And should it be applicable and limited but not constructed, which I think is most people's actual opinions.
Yeah.
But Wizards of the Coast probably doesn't want to go down that road. That's a little complicated.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt that this has just completely changed the game as far as standard goes and limited to some extent.
Yeah.
But even think about the modern Pro Tour, and Tron being able to keep so many hands.
Yes.
With almost or all of its Tron pieces in it.
Exactly. So, although, why? You have 40 card decks in limited versus 60 card in constructed.
Yeah.
Why not have a different mulligan?
That's what I say.
Anyways.
That's our argument.
Coming up next, we had a lot of set announcements this year. We had Modern Horizons, again, way back at the beginning of the year. Throne of Eldraine, we only learned about this year with that awesome trailer that came along with it. Our return to Theros. We're going to meet Ikoria next year.
So excited for Ikoria.
And returning to Zendikar.
Awesome.
All of those were things that we learned about this year.
That is wild.
It really is.
Which of these were you or are you most excited about?
Returning to Theros.
Yeah, 100%.
Although remember, we were way excited for Throne of Eldraine.
Oh, yes. I don't know if much could top my hype level for Throne of Eldraine, honestly.
We were so hyped for Throne of Eldraine.
And Modern Horizons turned out to be an amazing Magic set.
Yes.
Just super fun to play.
Especially
For limited, yeah.
Plus, this year was when we found out that there would be planeswalkers in every pack of War of the Spark.
Wow, do you remember learning that? And what you thought when you learned it?
Just thinking, how can they possibly pull this off?
Yeah, exactly.
And yet they did.
There's no way this could possibly work. What are we going to do? We're going to be playing with 5 planeswalkers in our limited decks. That's what I was thinking back then.
Ugh.
But you're right. They did pull it off.
It worked out.
It was awesome.
It was super cool. This has also been the year of bans.
Yes. That is a very sad but true news item. So many bans.
In fact, this has been the most ban-heavy year since we've been playing Magic, with the exception of the year that they were banning a lot of things in Standard.
Wait, which year? Wait, but this was the year they banned a lot of things in Standard.
I'm talking about, you remember the year when they banned Reflector Mage, Emrakul, Looter Scooter?
Yeah, that's true.
There were a lot that year too. I don't know that it topped this year.
There was, because the bans reached into Modern, and then we started a new format, and we had to ban things in that.
Yes, one of the biggest years for bans in the entire history of Magic.
Wow, that is a statement.
It is a pretty big deal, and we're not going to recap all of the ones in Pioneer, because there have been just so many.
And it's constantly shifting, and it's a new format.
Yeah, exactly. But we had Bridge from Below, and then Hogak.
Wow, those were the days.
In Modern.
And by those are the days, I mean terrible, terrible days. I mean, it was cool, but it was so powerful.
Yes. Didn't we lost Faithless Looting, also from Modern.
Goodbye.
Wow.
Bye-bye forever. Bridge from Below is,
still...
I played that deck, when it wasn't banned, and let me just tell you, everyone knew it had to go.
Yep. It was way busted, but it turns out Hogak was the worst of them.
Wow, Hogak, you beautiful, beautiful boy. Yeah. Sorry to see you go. And of course, Oko, Thief of Crowns, Veil of Summer, and Once Upon a Time.
Yep, all of those getting the axe.
Wow, so...
Pretty wild.
I've got to say, they've got to be thinking about this going into 2020. This can't happen all the time.
I mean...
right?
I would hope not.
I don't think not healthy for the game.
I don't think they anticipated this happening.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. Also this year, we had the announcement of a new format.
Pioneer!
This hardly ever comes around.
No, when was the last time this happened?
I mean, technically Brawl. Yeah, but Brawl doesn't have the kind of competitive support that they're providing for Pioneer.
Exactly. Like next year, it's going to be a lot of Pioneer. So strap in. If you haven't been exploring it yet, 2020, you can hear a lot about Pioneer.
Yes.
The Players Tours, which are essentially just a renamed and retooled version of the Pro Tour, a lot of that is going to be Pioneer. So.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Dip your toe in the water if you haven't. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, so that's everything from Return to Ravnica onwards. And yeah, I still remember I feel like we had no premonition of that coming.
No, I didn't.
That announcement, I still just remember being like, I'm sorry, they what?
Yeah, they've just invented a new format out of whole cloth.
A format, yeah.
Yeah, it is surprising. Like, I had no knowledge that they were going to do that. We're like, we're playing Modern. That's our eternal format,
exactly.
Of most people. We're having a fine time. Boom.
They're like,
guess what?
It's an eternal format for players who have not been in the game as long.
Yeah, I think it's great. I'm very, very happy about the Pioneer introduction into our lives.
Yes, it is a very neat.
And speaking of the Players Tour and all of that coming up, 2019 had some huge announcements as far as organized play goes.
Oh my goodness, so many that I honestly can't keep track of all of them as they progress throughout the year.
I mean, for real, it is very confusing. A lot of stuff changed, unchanged, changed back in 2019. And people were actually talking about on Twitter today how confusing the system actually is now because we've gone through all these changes and stuff, and we haven't had time to have it really settle in our lives like we hopefully will in 2020.
So around this time last year is when we were finding out about the MPL.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my God.
Whew. Yeah.
And
a year ago.
The weekly MPL battles.
The weekly MPL battles. Now we know we have rivals.
Yeah.
That's, which is like the one that feeds into or, you feed out of the MPL.
The farm team, if you will. The minor leagues.
The minor leagues. We have the Players Tours, which have been announced only in the last couple of months.
Yeah, so no more just chunking pro tours around. We've got a system of regional Players Tours feeding a finals. Yeah. So, wow, that is very different.
Which those are all paper, and then the Mythic Invitationals, which are now we know over 100 players, 128?
Yeah, 128 players each. And by the way, called Mythic Invitationals and not Mythic Championships anymore.
Who knows what happened there?
So so much changing. All I can hope for in 2020 is a little bit more of a settling of what is happening in organized play and just moving forward with that plan for a while.
Yeah.
So we can all get used to it.
And lastly,
but not leastly.
No, maybe mostly. Arena finally was officially released.
Wow,
it's been in beta for a couple of years now, which is wild.
Yeah, and finally, upon its release, it was so exciting to finally have a new and exciting way to play Magic that was very user-friendly and super, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's pretty intuitive.
Yeah, intuitive, and the visual feedback was great.
It streamlines a lot of pieces of the game.
Yeah, and, still remains to be seen, but I would like to know, how many people are finding Magic through Arena and starting to play because of Arena.
For sure. Hopefully that's some data that we'll have in the future.
Yeah, I would really like to know that, actually. But yeah, and Arena's still going through lots of changes on how it's going to work.
Updates all the time.
Yeah, updates all the time, performance issues getting better, I would say, and new events. And hopefully, we're all here stumping for some real life drafting on Arena. It can still
draft
be leagues.
Queues, draft queues.
Real human draft queues.
Yeah.
So 2020 shaping up to be a really exciting year for Magic and a way that 2019 set the stage, and here comes 2020 all right, now
we worked out a lot of kinks. We took a rolling pin and we flattened that dough. Now let's bake the pie.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Make it so, if you will. Well, everybody, that's all the news we have this week. Next week, more new news for you because that's how the Upkeep works.
Yes.
You can check out our full-length podcast. It's called Good Luck High Five, anywhere fine podcasts are found. And you can support all of our work on patreon.com/GLHFmagic.